Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Your Salesforce Journey. Today we have with us Amit Singh. He is a Salesforce MVP, a founder of SFDC Panther and Panther Schools. So we are really happy to have him, and we'll start the conversation with him. So just to start with, we can probably start with how Salesforce struck you, or you started your career with Salesforce. You were in some other technology. How did this happen, and how did you reach where you are today?
Yeah, so my stories, I'd say it's kind of, I can say it's funny, or maybe I can say it's like I accidentally ran into Salesforce, being a Salesforce technology. So when I was in my final year, I have been like more into JavaScript, Java, especially I was like kind of working on Hibernate, Spring Boot, and Spring Framework that Java has that day. So basically, I would say we came to here in New Delhi. Our college was really small. It was I will say our batch was third batch, so we had somewhere around 25 people in our batch. So we just used to came to New Delhi for the different companies to visit and see if we can get an interview and maybe get selected there. So on that process, we were here. I think in Noida sector 63, there was a company which we came for giving the interview for QA, and then we really went there, and they really I'll say it was like from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. we were there in the company, and then everyone was got rejected. We would say we had somewhere around 15 people who came. Everyone got rejected, and then our TNP cell said head said, "Hey, here there is a company nearby in 65. If you could go there and give the interview." And we were like, no, we are not going, because we were really exhausted. It's been 9 a.m. We had just I would used to be in a hostel, so I used to eat a lot, because in hostel you used to get snacks and lunch on time. So I was like, I'm not going there. So my head said, okay, if you're not going there, you're not going to be part of any other interview process. So I really had no choice. I went there, and then as soon as I saw the building, I was like, no way, I'm not going to work here, because that building alone has 11 different companies. And when you work as a college student, you always think, okay, you're going to work, and that company is going to have its own building of maybe 10 to 20 stories. So that kind of impression I had. But when I went there, the interviewer started asking questions. Luckily, he was asking questions in Java itself. So then I got energy. Okay, I said, okay, let's give it a try. And then after I think 60 or 65 minutes of drilling interview, he really asked, "What's your name?" Like, he really didn't saw my name in the resume. Then he said, "Okay." He said, "Okay, Amit, you are selected, but don't tell anyone. You'll get email. Your like TNP cell will get an email from our CEO maybe next Tuesday." So I still remember that was Friday, and my interview got started at 6:30 p.m. It got in somewhere around 7:45, and I had to catch up my train that night itself. So I immediately ran. Like, we all 15 people immediately ran to New Delhi station. We got that train, and then went to. But then that might have happened with you as well. Whenever someone said Salesforce, the first impression that comes into our mind, like, we're not going to sell anything.
Yeah, definitely.
So
This
that
was
that
exactly
was
how I started.
that, so that was my impression. As soon as I asked, okay, what technology your company is going to work, because my interview was for software developer.
Mhm.
So he said, "Have you heard about Salesforce?" I said, "I haven't heard, but I'm not going to sell the things door to door." So his reaction was like, no, that's not what we are doing. We are the competitor of Oracle, Google, and he really took the name of big companies. I thought, okay, this might be something good. So that's how basically I started my Salesforce journey. And then even when I got to company, I was initially for I'll say 18 months. I was completely working on Java, writing the Spring Boot applications, right now developing the jar files. So that's how my journey started, and then I got into Salesforce, and how, like, how far I came here. And then luckily I got to be a chance of being Salesforce MVP multiple times.
Great, lovely story. And I think this sales incidence is really, every part of everybody's life, because even when I tell the folks, they say, okay, what does Kisi Consulting do? I say, we do Salesforce consulting. They, oh, you are a sales organization. I said, no, we are not sales organization. We are a tech organization. and we work on it. And it is, and now I have started saying yes, yes to everything. I don't tend to explain because nobody is bothered about
Yeah,
it.
because because now we all are mature, so we say, okay, whatever you think, just go here from now. Like, I don't want to argue with you. So
Yeah,
I think that's how it starts.
yeah, that's how it started. But I think till today there's so much of branding around Salesforce, but still a lot of people who are not from the tech world don't know what probably Salesforce holds here. No, great journey. So you were working for a couple of organizations before you started SFDC, your blogging journey and stuff like that, or was it like you were parallelly doing SFDC Panthers and then you were also working, and when was the point you thought, okay, I'll probably leave and I'll start on my own?
Yeah, so I would say there is again there is a story behind this as well. So when I was a part of my first company itself, I used to work with a couple of senior people who were really senior to me. Like they really had somewhere around 6 to 7 years of experience, and I was just a fresher with. Yeah, so I was saying that I used to work with a couple of seniors, not couple of, like we had like 5 to 6 people, and then out of 5 to 6, we had got 4 people as senior, having more than 6 to 7 years of experience. So I was working with one of with one of the TL. He really has a very good experience on Java, and he really taught, like he basically initially taught me how to build the Java application, especially the jar files and the executable file, how we can create those. So then later at point of time, after 1 month, whenever I used to go to him, then like, sir, this is not like, ये नहीं आता है. So he was like, यही तो करना है, Google करो. So that point of time, like I really felt bad, like, okay, no one is there, like no one is helping. You really feel helpless. And at that time, I really was not aware about the Salesforce community. So, but that person really taught me how to Google where to place the keywords so that you can get whatever you are looking for. And then after, I think, working for 2.5 years in that company itself, I thought, okay, maybe there could be people who are like from from a background that I am. They don't really hardly understand English. They hardly speak English. So I thought of starting my channel, and then I still remember my first blog post was the roll-up summary field for attachments. These days, like those days, attachments were being used. Files were very, I think,
Yes,
they
yeah.
were there, but those were not popular.
That was the classic era, right? So we were working in classics back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So that roll-up summary trigger was there, and then I got I think 2 to 3 comments in a week. And then I thought, okay, now people are liking it, so I just started putting, maybe, and then I posted. The second blog was round robin algorithm for lead assignment, a custom algorithm, somewhere configured solution that was there, and that's how basically this journey got started.
Oh, great. No, I think even if you search for a few other things, right? I also have myself personally, landed up at SFDC Panther and found my solutions at times. So I think it is a great platform for probably. So a lot of people in my company, they just Google it out, and a lot of times they send me these blog posts, and it is probably a few times it is from your SFDC Panther as well. So it has been great contribution towards the community.
Yeah, I think there are many people I think in the community who are really doing well, and even I'm also learning these days, like a lot from different people. Like Subham is really making a good content on flows,
Yeah.
and Apex Hours, like he like Amit is really, like he's really my mentor. So he's my mentor. Like he's like a big brother to me. So whenever I'm in need, he really helps me out. And then, so basically there are so many people, so many content creators who are creating, but all we have to do is find out one person who we need to follow, because there could be so many content, and if you're watching the videos, like for all the content creators for the same topic multiple times, then it's going to be confusing for you. So, but yeah, I think the intent was just to help the people out there who is there in community, especially for the persons, or maybe the people who are coming from a background like me. Because when I started my college, I it was a transition from Hindi medium to English medium. It was really hard for me to follow. Like I had identified a couple of people in my bench, like in my batch, who used to sit on the front bench. So I said, okay, I keep looking at them whenever they write something, I also write in my notes. So that's how I started. I thought, okay, this could be something important because that English was really nightmare for me. And then after writing some doing the writing practice, because in BTech we have to write down the 40 pages other if you wanted to get numbers, or maybe if you wanted to get passing marks.
Right.
So I really had to do the practice out there, and then so basically that's how I thought there could be many people who are not able to understand. Maybe they really need an explanation in a layman term. So that's why basically I try to explain in deep and try to go into multiple solutions, and then maybe I try to solve the problem at the runtime so that if there is any issue, I can tell them, okay, if this issue comes, this is how you solve it.
Great. So it is more like you have a teacher inside you who wants to, probably teach, or is it just for the contribution so that, this is your journey that, there was nobody to help you at that time. So you probably want to reach out to as many people as you want, or is it more of a you enjoy teaching and what is it about, or it is mix of both?
I would say it's more like I found that this is something I'm very good at. Like teaching is something I'm very good at, and I really love it. So I would say, yeah, this is like something which I wanted to. Maybe this is something I'm very good at. I should be doing it. So that's why I've just started and trying to. Maybe there are a couple of initiatives that we are announcing today itself. After this call, we have a
I
YouTube
think
live
I have
session.
YouTube live. Yeah, I saw that first.
Yeah, so we are going to announce maybe I think 2 or 3 initiatives there. So uh, this is something I would say, right? We try to find out ikigai, the purpose of our life. What is that? So I think I really found it, and that's the teaching, giving back to community, and at the same time you also get to earn dollars or money, so that you have the bread and butter for you and family.
That is definitely required. I think it should be a blend of both. So great, a great job. So what are your plans with Panther School? Is it only for Salesforce, or you're also planning to add other technologies? And who is like if somebody, if say somebody wants to learn a Salesforce admin or maybe a developer course, right? So do we have particular programs we need to follow, or is it all free? How is it? Can you just talk about that so that people watching this might take some insights from that and join Panther School?
Yeah, so basically, I would say like every coin has 2 sides. Similarly, we also have like 2 sides. One is a free one and one is a paid one. So currently, so far, whatever the content we have put over YouTube or website, everything is free, and we are definitely going to continue like putting the content out there in YouTube continuously basis. Maybe whatever the top newest technologies that are coming out of Salesforce, like different clouds. But just to answer your question that you said, is it going to be limited to Salesforce? So the answer is no. We're
Great.
trying to expand it to the other technologies like JavaScript, Node.js, Angular, MuleSoft,
Okay.
Slack, somewhere technologies around Salesforce. And then maybe if we found some people who are really interested or maybe wanted to join our hands, and then maybe we can expand to other technologies like Python or data science. So that's why basically that's what the intent from changing the name from SFDC
Uh,
Panther to Panther Schools.
no, that's the
Because
next part of my question, because it was total shift. So I personally thought that the agenda is not Salesforce, and it is probably maybe later point in time, but you're keeping the domain open, right?
yeah, and then if you talk about learning the people, so I personally really had I think a complete script document which I took somewhere around 3 to 4 months to develop that people can follow for pursuing their Salesforce developer or admin path, because that's the initial, I'll say that's the starter for any people, any person out there who want to get into Salesforce. So that's basically, I have a script document I'll be sharing with you so that you can share with everyone.
Sure, sure.
Maybe you can put into the comment. So it's basically a free, I would say, complete document which has some of the FAQ that are very like common that people used to ask. Okay, I have done journey to Salesforce. I've got 200 badges. I'm not getting a job. So there are so many questions that has been answered there. And then there is a complete project that's a order management project. It really have everything that a developer, maybe a 2 years of experience developer need to know. So if some person who really wanted to get into Salesforce, if he or she follows these two documents, like the first one where he or she starts with maybe development or admin, it has most of the links, whatever the blogs, the different resources out there, some videos, and some of the like different out of like completely different link which are not related to, because if you talk about Salesforce development, everyone starts with maybe from data type. They really don't talk about the what is the basic, what's the backbone behind this, that is OOPS concept. No one, I barely see the trainers or the individuals, even the content creators really talked about this OOPS concept.
Yeah, right.
So everything is there, and then there is a complete, I would say, project. We talked about order management that really has like it's a order management, so it's an e-commerce project, especially it's a B2C, intended B2C. It has everything, including admin, the data model, relationships, and then it has got integration, it has got payment gateways implemented, it has got Lightning Web Component for the UI, it has got community setup. So kind of like it has somewhere around, if you talk about 20 plus objects, including some of its standard and custom object. And I have got like, I put everything. Maybe if you open the document, you'll see that I have got every single thing, like the field, their data types, what should be the help text, and every single thing I try to put into.
So basically, you are expanding from a small tiny piece, and you are kind of creating a own world of it, right? So basically, starting from a smallest of smallest thing. So anybody who is very new and he's not aware of even oops, he can also join in. He can understand what is, and then probably get into flows and all, because usually people directly jump into what is a flow and they don't know what even object, right? So that is really important. And I think so whenever we interview, probably we don't interview on Salesforce for at least a fresher or maybe a 7-8 months experience. We focus towards the oops concepts. What is indentation, what are data types, what is if condition, what is and or, and probably we interview a lot of basic stuff, because I think if you have the basic logics right, then only you can learn the other things. So I think basics are really important here.
Yeah, I think if you talk about the interview, like even whenever I try to like interview any experience, even 5 or 6 or sometimes 8 years of experience, I always start with OOPS concept, especially tell me the difference. What is the difference between method overloading and overriding?
Yeah.
And if a person is able to answer that, I would know that okay, he or she really has a good knowledge on OOPS concept, because that's the something I'll say that is really a
Really important.
very confusing thing. If you know the difference between method overriding and overloading, that is really going to make you okay. You at least you know the basic, and then we all know that we have got stack exchange, we have got stack overflow. If you need something, definitely there are like solutions out there you can use, and you can just get it. I always try to like say, okay, you're free to use Google. This is a problem. I just wanted to see, okay, what's your Googling skill? How you're
Yeah.
going to Google a
And
sub
that is, I
problem?
think that is also really important being in the tech world, right? So we should
Yeah.
not be. Now that is a really important skill to acquire. And so talking about, the Panther School, so are you also planning to open a consulting firm, or is it just, being tutorials and all, or are you also planning to consult or start an agency, or how's it?
I would say like we haven't planned so far to get into that level because I really believe in like achieving small milestones, quick wins that we can celebrate. We are not setting like some target which is like far away, and then if you are even achieving 50%, we are not going there, we really feel bad. That's how the human tendency is.
Right,
So
absolutely.
basically, currently we are not targeting there. We are just trying to create an educational hub. Panther School is going to be a maybe SFDC Panther will get back get back into shape, and will again get something new coming under the hood for SFDC Panther. So it's more like an educational hub, starting from Salesforce, where we are going to talk about, okay, if you are getting into architect journey, I see there are many people who are CT aspirants. So if you're going for CTA, there are really important, I think 5 or 6 architect certificate that you really has to go through.
Definitely.
And these are all the domains that you really need to clear and pass in every domain. Then only you're going to get the CTA certificate. So we are going to kind of come up with some ebooks, some basically what we say like cheat code for each kind of domain, like sharing and visibility, deployments. So we are really going to have two different kind of things. One, live classes where we are going to talk about every single aspect under the hood, not only on top of, okay, this is what you do and this is happens. We're going to talk about what really happens under the hood in most of the cases where is applicable. And then maybe we'll also provide the cheat codes that is going to be a complete different, maybe different, say ebook kind of thing, which we are going to sell.
Got it. Great thought behind that. What are your thoughts? People running behind certifications. I personally, see a lot of people just buying these, terms from some friends, or it is circulating, right? A lot of groups. I'm not sure if you're part of those on WhatsApp or probably Telegrams and stuff like that. So people are just buying it, giving the exam, and coming for the interviews, and then they are completely blank. I have seen people completing PD1 and then not knowing how to query. So what are your thoughts? What is the importance of certification? Or I think it should be a blend, or what are your thoughts here?
I would say, like, first of all, this is my favorite question. Whenever I talk about this, I really get into controversies. So, but I really love talking about this. So first, I think there are everyone has their own view, and I would try to like get into every people's, maybe get into their shoes, and then we can talk about that. So first we can talk about the companies. There are companies, they have different kind of views where companies really wanted to have some projects where client says, okay, I'm only going to give you the project if you have a certified B2C architect. And no one can, I'll say no one really can afford B2C architect if the company is a small or medium sized company, because B2C architect or B2B architect, they are really, I'll say, demand is really high. So then definitely they have to force someone, maybe someone who is leading a technical team, or maybe having a 7 or 8 year of experience. Even though he or she doesn't know that what B2C commerce is, but he or she has to do because they have to win the project.
Yeah, they have to win the project.
So then if this situation comes, then that person really has to go and find out the different ways to get past, because there is a huge cost involved in it, and then definitely there is a project which can turn into $1 million.
Right.
So that is one aspect that I have. And then if you talk about as an individual, if someone like ask, okay, as an individual, either should I go for it or not, then I would say if you're already doing a job, if you already have a job, then I would say first get a knowledge, because once you get a certificate, most of my friends said, okay, we will get the certificate and then later on we will study.
What happens?
But that's never going to happen, right? So that's what I said. Okay, first study, maybe give the mock test. If you really don't know anyone, come to me. I'm really going to drill you down if that is the area of my expertise. And then go for a certificate. Even if you're failing, that's fine, because it's like, okay, you're failing, your company is paying the amount. Maybe next time, if you're paying from your pocket, maybe $8,000 or $10,000, that is way better than you are spending monies in the parties, or maybe some bad habits that you possess, right? So that is one thing that I have. And the other thing is that sometimes people are really frustrated, like they are working really hard, they have got the knowledge, they really are struggling to get a job,
but they don't have the credentials to prove themselves, so they're not.
yes. So at that time also, they really think, like, the thinking is, and I really don't blame them as well, because like it's like, okay, if I get a job, maybe certificate, then, because nowadays what companies are doing is their criteria is like, okay, if you really want to get an interview call, you definitely have to get this certificate. I used to see the job posting on LinkedIn. I really laugh, like people says that we are looking for an intern who has done the Salesforce training. I mean, then they said certification is a plus. I was like, really, are you looking for who are you hiring for? So that is, I'll say, the company's mindset, who is really driving the individuals to get into more and more certificates. And then what happens, really, this is not the, I'll say, not bad for companies, this is bad for ourselves itself. We are cheating ourselves, because I have interviewed like multiple people when I was in my previous organization. I'll not take the name because I don't know if because they really, I'll say, prevent people to saying name. But even when I was in my previous organization, I was like, it was like 100% track record. Whoever I interviewed got rejected.
Because of
So
knowledge.
yeah, because I see their resume has 5x certified, 6x certified, like they are sales and service cloud consultant, but they really don't know what is omnichannel, how the lead conversion process works, what are the processes in Salesforce, how you are going to show the different fields in a different UI for the same object. So if you really don't know, you really don't have that level of knowledge, and you are saying that, okay, you are a certified one. And then there is also one thing, like I'm not sure what's the agenda, maybe what's the intent the Salesforce is bringing up. They really keep bringing new certificate. However, that's my personal point of view. Like they should not be having so much certificate. Like Oracle has only one or two, I think, SCJP certified
Yeah.
that they had, and if you really make it, then you really are a developer. Because I personally attempted thrice and I failed thrice.
I have
So
also done Java certified Oracle developer when I was in first year, probably not first year of job. So I was very excited about coding. I'm very passionate, so I cleared that in second attempt.
yeah, so that's what I like. I attempted when I was in my final year, and
Tough.
I really didn't pay it from my pocket. My HOD was like, he was behind my back, and he really said, okay, you go ahead, attempt at least 3 times. I'm going to pay you. So he really paid everything for me, and he just submitted the form and everything. I just had to go and give the exam, and I really failed. I disappointed him, but still he was really happy. Okay, at
So,
least because I was the only person who really attempted for the SCJP.
oh, great. And that is a tough exam to give. And I personally spent my own money to do it. So, so it was a hard call. But I think after that, a lot of concepts were cleared and, it really helped me in my Salesforce journey as well. So that was thanks for sharing these details. So I'll just come to the end. What is one probably a tip you would like to give from your journey to somebody who's watching this and being inspired and wants to achieve more in the technical career, probably Salesforce career? So what is the one tip you would like to share?
So one thing that I have learned throughout the journey that I have experienced is like whenever you start something new, people are there to question you. Okay, look at him or her. He or she really doesn't have much experience, but he or she is really doing it. I'll just give you a couple of examples. Like let's say if a person who is having 1 or 2 years of experience, he or she starts his or her YouTube channel, people are there. There are going to be so many people who are really going to point out to you. They're really going to pull your leg down. Or
Definitely.
maybe if you say, okay, you're going to be aspiring CTA, like even if you have a very small number of experience in years, then also people are going to pull you down. So what you have to do is you really don't need to bother about them, because there are always positive and negatives. So you just need to ignore whatever the negative people are there all around you, and then just focus on your goal, and you're definitely going to get it one day. There could be like maybe if you get someone is getting within 3 months, you might get it within 5 or 6 months. It's not like, okay, because it's a life, right? Everyone is facing a different question, a different set of questions. But what we are trying to do here is we are trying to copy ourselves. Okay, he is earning a 6-digit salary, but I'm not earning that. So there could be a different thing for you that is awaiting ahead of your life. So you really don't need to. First thing is that don't really listen to people who are really giving you the bad advice, trying to pull you down.
Mhm.
Number two is that really don't fear out of trying new things, because if you really don't try new things, or maybe don't learn new things, you will find yourself that if I could have done that earlier. Because there has been, I personally has been like in multiple situations where I thought, if I could have done that earlier, now I could have been in a different state. So try out new things. We all are in IT, so it's like always try to learn new technologies. It could be related to Salesforce, like different clouds, or it could be related to the other top niche technologies like Python, data science, or we have got Node.js, AngularJS, and Next.js. There are so many frameworks out there that you might wanted to try it. Maybe you might wanted to. You might really find it useful or maybe interesting, because when I started, I remember when I started learning Node.js, it was earlier, it was like, oh, this is not something which I really like. But as I started developing, developed couple of applications, published a couple of NPM packages, and I really started liking it. So just try it out, and reach out to as many people as you can. There are so many people out there active in community. Post your questions out there. Ask any question that you can ask. Don't think that what the other person is going to think about you. Maybe he or she thinks that, okay, what a dumb person. Could be. There could be, because that's how our human brain functions. Like, if someone asks some question we are not expecting, that we really think like that, okay, he's dumb, he or she, right? So don't think that. Just ask your question. If he or she is not interested, maybe he or she will not reply to you. That's it. That's what it is going to be.
Yeah.
And maybe you could meet someone like like I met my mentor Amit, the founder of Apex Hours. That's how I met. I basically just I sent him a message over Facebook. Even we were not connected, so I just sent him a message, and then he immediately replied with his phone number. Okay, this is my phone number. Call me tomorrow after this time. And then that's how my journey started with him. So maybe you could find a good person. And it is one important thing is that in everyone's life, either you are a fresher, you are experienced, or even you are having so many number of years, choose a one person who is going to mentor you or guide you.
Definitely.
Having a guru or mentor is really helps you in such a situation where you are really feeling sad, you're not finding a solution, you really don't know what to do. Talk to them, whoever. It could be your father, it could be your mother, or maybe someone from community. Just have a mentor, follow them. Again, don't blindly follow them. It's
That is
like,
what I was also coming to that.
just yeah,
I have a
just add.
differ in opinion here because it is I don't differ completely, but it is more like people are always searching for a mentor, and I think you should also keep on trying. Life is itself a mentor. If you find a mentor, great, but if you don't find a mentor, it is not that your life is stuck, right? You need to try, and also don't follow somebody blindly. Maybe pick up good points from his journey and implement, and you might have couple of mentors. It is not always one. So because
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of people, they say यार मेरे पास mentor नहीं है, I don't have a mentor, तो मैं पहुंच नहीं पाया. But I don't think that is true. Even if somebody, you might
No,
get a
no, that's
journey, but you need to start, right? You can't just wait for a mentor and do that.
yeah, that's like if you have a mentor, that's really good. I would say that's what I was like, find a mentor, because having a mentor is really good. But
Really
if
good.
you don't have a mentor, that doesn't mean like you cannot go anywhere. Because I have seen there are many people out there who really did well, like alone. But again, the thing is like, I think there is something which says like, if you want to go faster, then you can work alone. But if you wanted to go far, then you have to take someone with you. So if
Right.
you really wanted to take your career far away, then definitely you have to maybe find out some mentor. If you wanted to move faster, then definitely you can alone. But again, if you move faster, then at some point you'll feel like, okay, I need someone who can guide me. So it's more like, again, it's not like compulsory, it's not like mandatory to have someone as a mentor. But if you could find someone, you're definitely going to learn, and he or she is also going to learn from you. It's not like you are always going to learn.
Definitely. Yeah. So I
So
think it's more about value addition, right? So if somebody who has already done it, right, he can probably tell you what not to do at least. Right? He might not be able to tell you what to do, but he'll tell you what these things are a big no, and that adds a lot of
yeah,
value to the union. And I probably you get there faster and in a better fashion rather than trying multiple things and going. But even if you don't have a mentor, you just maybe go ahead and you might click somebody, right? Somebody might be interested in mentoring you, and you get one. So yeah.
yeah, we should learn from other mistakes as well, because we
Definitely.
cannot learn from our mistakes, because if you learn from our mistakes, life is very short.
Yeah.
So at
Definitely.
least try to learn. And then if you find a mentor who is really well experienced than you, then he or she will say, okay, if you do this, these are the perks that you will get. Or if you go this path, this is where you will land into. So
No,
that is as you said, right? Very well said. Like value addition. That is really good point that I missed out. But that is something a mentor can give you.
no, definitely 100%. And probably enough. I also believe that once you reach a certain level, you should also probably go out and mentor others. Like, you should also be a mentor to others once you go out there. Thanks, Amit. Thanks for joining us. And it was great talking to you. I'm sure this episode will inspire a lot of folks, and also
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and let me know if there is something I can help with. Anyone and everyone who is watching this video, if you really need any help, feel free to ping me or LinkedIn, or maybe email me or my email. That is nothing very simple, sfdcpanther@gmail.com. And yeah, I think I would say I might respond late, but I'll definitely respond you over your queries.
Yeah, great. No, I'll also add the details on the probably YouTube comment there.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thanks.